as evidence of political bias from the nation's electoral umpire. Now, for many, the concern was not just about the content of a single post, appeared to be a pattern of partisan leaning, raising questions about the neutrality required of anyone occupying such a sensitive office. So, as public pressure mounted with calls for his resignation, gaining traction across political parties, civil society spaces, and all that, Professor Amupiton had to, of course, swiftly respond, and he categorically denied ownership of that X account, insisting that he has never operated any personal account on the platform. And according to him, the posts are the handiwork of impersonators and cyber criminals and do not reflect his views or affiliations. Now, for the Independent National Electoral Commission, they backed this position of the INEC chairman and described the situation as a case of digital impersonation and misinformation. Right now, the commission further disclosed that steps have been taken in collaboration with security agencies to investigate the origin of the account and possibly bring those responsible to justice. However, rather than settle the matter, the denial has only, deepened public suspicion. Reports that the controversial account was suddenly altered, including a change of username and being locked or rebranded as a parody account. But one thing that is interesting is that the phone number, by virtue which was gotten by virtue of the ID that was used to create the account in 2022, is linked to the phone number, the alleged phone number of the INEC chairman, and even his email address found on some of the public documents that he has written. So it is pretty much an interesting development. And on the other hand, we have the situation with the ADC. Now, the ADC is preparing for its national convention on 14th of April, that is tomorrow, and they are yet to be sure of the venue they are going to use for the convention. Now, the ADC says that they have written to the FCT minister to get his approval to use the Eagles Square. But then we have Wike, the FCT minister, who says that ADC has not written to him that they have not applied to use Eagles Square. ADC in turn has put out a document showing that they had written to the FCT minister since 7th of April in a letter that they put out dated April 7th. 2026, and they said its application for the use of the Eagle Square Abuja for ADC National Convention. So today is 13th, and the FCT minister says that he is yet to get the application or the notification from the ADC to use Eagle Square. So we have that still brewing in Enugu State. Also, we understand that we have various factions of the ADC. It was on this station we had an announcement put out that the ADC was cancelling their state congress. But on Saturday, we had a faction hold their congress that produced a state chairman in Enugu State. So it is pretty much interesting what is going on in the political space. And as much as time allows us this evening, we're going to explore some of these developments and see what we can make of it. On the other hand, we have people who are beginning to intensify the call for the president to consider Professor Nnenauti, the woman that presided over the elections in Abia State in 2023, the woman that declared Alex Oti the winner of that election, right? People are saying, oh, this is, if at all, that the president should appoint, this should be the person that should replace Professor Joash because she has proven to be unbiased, right? Now, we'll open up this conversation because Mr. Abuchano Yago will be our guest this evening, and subsequently the talk lines will be opened for us to get your thoughts. Professor Mr. Abuchi, glad to have you on the program. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Favor. Good evening, Informa.
How you doing?
I'm fine, and good evening to the listeners.
Well, glad to have you on the program. We're trying to keep up with events. A lot seem to be going on all at the same time. We have Nigerians calling for the resignation of the INEC chairman, and that call has intensified in the past couple of days. We have civil society organizations, we have opposition parties, and we have Nigerians as well who are saying that this, by virtue of his past tweets, that shows support for the ruling All Progressives Congress, that he is not fit to occupy such a sensitive office. But there are people that will also argue that as of 2022, Professor Joash Amopiton is a private citizen, right? He hadn't occupied the office of the INEC chairman. Now, this is 2026. Uh, should that be taken into consideration? His tweets from 2022, is this something that should be taken into consideration? And do you see reasons with people that are calling for his resignation?
Okay, thank you. I will take it from there, the perspective of those who said as at 2022 or 2023 that he was just Professor Josh Amopita. And then as at 2026, 25, 26, that he's the INEC chairman.
Right.
So would you say that the Bola Ahmed Tinubu that you had in 1991 is not the one that is the president of Nigeria? You see, when issues like this crop up, you see some Nigerians, perhaps based on vested interest, perhaps based on issues of pecuniary, some people try to throw caution to the winds. Some people try to throw away the thinking about the future.
Mm.
Their belief is whatever that can come up, and then they line their pockets. Anything can happen, even if it means it is going to affect their children and the generations of their descendants. They wouldn't mind.
Mm.
So, do you think that it was not based on his antecedent as a strong supporter of APC and the Tinubu that made Tinubu to look for to make him the INEC chairman? So those people who are saying that, are they thinking that way? Are they not thinking that way also?
Mm.
That it was based on this man's perceived strong support for APC that they decided to go for him and make him the INEC chairman. And they know that he has the will. He has the will to wither any storm, to wither any shouting, any opposition, any lamentation, any wailing, if I may use the words of Femi Adesina. That he's well rooted to withstand any form of wailing by the people and then go ahead with the interest that he wants to serve. Before you launch this program, you remember I was addressing your mind to what was allegedly credited to former Minister Dalong, Solomon Dalong. And I just Googled now. They said that thing has not been refuted up to now. Where Dalong questioned the integrity of Amuvita. And himself, Amuvita, I have not heard anywhere where he said or he challenged that statement by Dalong. He has not. Dalong said he knew him as far back as, was it 1991 or so, when he was the dean of faculty of law of the University of Jos. That was what Dalong said. So, and none of these people, nobody is talking about this. And let me just mention one. He said, the report says here, based on reports from early April, Solomon Dalong, a former Nigerian Minister of Youth and Sports Development, launched a severe criticism of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral, Professor George Ojo Amopito, SAN, stating that he, I quote, has no integrity, end of quote. So the same Josh has not challenged, I have not heard that he challenged Dalong on this issue. When somebody said that he has no integrity, I have not heard anything any counter report.
Well,
So
he has
he
a lot
said
on his
he
plate.
like, are you his attorney, that he has a lot of
He has a lot on his plate.
something of this something that is so weighty, something touching on your integrity. And he said he has a lot of he has a lot of, he said, maybe I wouldn't know whether you heard the discussion with him.
But
And
he
he's
has
just
he has a lot on his plate that he's grappling with. But
you know, so
something I would like to bring to your attention. The thing is, as much as people believe that, oh, as of 2022 he was a private citizen as compared to, when you compare him to now that he occupies the office of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. But the interesting thing is that Professor Joash has not come out to accept that that particular account is his Twitter account. But from investigations, from findings, it points towards the fact that, oh, this account is actually owned by him, open with his phone number and email address, also found on public documents that he has written. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
yeah.
Now, those public documents are there. Your email address are on those public documents, and these are the same email addresses found attached to that particular Twitter account. So he has come out to refute this. Same applies to INEC as an institution, but the call for his resignation. Do you think that is a joke taken too far? Is that a good enough reason to begin to call for his resignation? That's what I'm trying to get to with this.
Yes, favor. Sorry, in the trial of any in the course of any judicial process in the court,
Mm,
and where a party in a matter questions the the fairness of the judge handling the case, you remember what happens. The judge recuses himself because his integrity has been brought into question by a party in the matter. And in order not to jeopardize the case at the end of the day, the judge will simply recuse himself, will simply wash his hands off the matter, and then it will be transferred to another judge. So in this present case, you have mentioned something now that INEC and maybe Amobito himself, that he has denied ownership of that Twitter handle.
mm.
But the same Amobito, I have not heard that he has denied the allegation by Dalong. So can you reconcile that? The allegation, the question of his integrity. And remember, the man said somewhere, he mentioned it, he said allegation of past misconduct. He alleged that while Amubito was dean of the faculty of law at the University of Jos, there were irregularities, including the manipulation of student results and giving preferential treatment to specific individuals. So these things are very weighty. And up to now, he has not deemed it necessary to address this particular issue that happened before he became, that allegedly happened before he became the INEC chairman. So it's a matter of his integrity, saying that whether people are taking the demand for his resignation too far, he's not taking it too far. It is even a way to save Nigeria from future problems.
All right.
It is a way, it borders on his integrity. So he should first of all address that before going further to conduct the election.
All right. As much as we've seen a lot of people who are calling for his resignation, but the question is it going to solve anything per se? Why I'm asking this is because when you take a look at our constitution, it empowers the president to appoint the INEC chairman. So what is even the guarantee that the next person that he's going to appoint will be non-partisan? Is it going to solve, should we be looking at his resignation? Is it going to solve anything per se? when you look at what I've just put forward?
Why people are calling for his resignation is that if he had remained or showed signs of going to be an uncompromised person, a neutral and unbiased person, perhaps because Nigerians, you remember, when his nomination was announced by the president, some Nigerians kicked against it, including myself. Some opposed it, some protested.
Reason being?
Being that they didn't trust his integrity, that they didn't believe that he was going to, he was going to be an unbiased umpire.
But at the
I
time,
remember
nothing had really
but
arisen in
people,
regards
you
to
remember,
his integrity.
even when the issue of which was later cleared, people accused him of being one of the council in an election matter involving the president, and quickly that one was cleared that he wasn't part of the legal team. Though he may not have been visibly part of the legal team, as announced, maybe at the court. But who knows if he might not have been one of those that were, you know, doing behind the scene, giving the behind the scene help for the legal.
That can be proven.
So it cannot be proven. So that's what I'm saying is that, you know, that allegation came up and people kicked against him, his appointment. People questioned, people protested against his appointment. And by his action now, he seems to be justifying those people who initially opposed his nomination or his appointment because of his action against ADC. So, which has given him out as somebody who is not going to be an unbiased umpire by that action. The same INEC under his watch, the same INEC that acknowledged and went ahead to swear an affidavit acknowledging David Mark's leadership of ADC. The same INEC turned around. So what happened between that September and now? That they didn't recognize David Mark again. And he's a lawyer. And he's a lawyer. And he's a lawyer. The court says status quo ante bellum. Status quo ante bellum. Putting the court would remain. So are you interpreting status quo ante bellum to mean the Raf Nwosu leadership? No.
Or no leadership at all.
Or no leadership